Guys, what's up? Long time no see. But today we are doing something special. Today we are going to be talking about how to make money from a podcast. Because over the past 6 months, I've managed to scale my own podcast to 7 figures in a year. And even though I'm not yet there myself, because we started the channel only 4 months ago, it has the potential to do so. So I wanted to talk about exactly how you can go about pulling off something similar if that is something that you want. If you don't, then obviously skip to the next video. But let's get into it. This is what a podcast scam looks like. Now, I'm gonna say this straight away. It isn't really a scam. It's just very, very risky. And I personally would never do it. But this is how a lot of people make money with their podcasts. The way that they monetize it is by selling courses or Notion templates or website themes or whatever it is. They will put out a podcast episode every single week. It might be about productivity or about making money or business or marketing or whatever it is. They release an episode and then they pitch their product for 3 minutes at the beginning and at the end. Now, in between that, they are providing value. They are teaching people things. They are helping them solve problems. But ultimately, they have something that they are trying to sell. And at the end of that episode, they will tell you where you can go to buy it. They'll give you a link. Sometimes they use a funnel so that they can give you a free resource and then get you into a sales page. Sometimes they just send you directly to the checkout page. That's a super high-level overview of how a lot of people make money with a podcast, and that's fine. That's how they make their money. You know, they provide value and then they try and sell you something at the end. Now, I have a problem with that for 2 reasons. Firstly, I think it's much harder than people realize to actually build an audience in this way. You have to be consistent. You have to show up every single week. You have to make sure that you're providing value. You have to make sure that you're getting some kind of return on your initial investment of time. You also have to make sure that you're rebuilding an email list or some kind of community around what you're redoing so that when you do decide to launch a product, you actually have people that are interested in buying it. Secondly, it's pretty transactional. People aren't coming to your podcast because they want to build a relationship with you. They are coming to it because they want to learn something. They want to solve a problem. And at the end, you're gonna throw them onto a sales page and then try and sell them something. And that's just not my style. I don't like that. I don't think it's the best way to do it. Now, I don't listen to many podcasts, but one that I do listen to is called The Tim Ferriss Show. Tim Ferriss has been successful with his podcast by interviewing other people that are successful in different industries. He'll interview someone for an hour or so and then he'll turn that into multiple episodes. Then what he does is he edit those episodes and he chop them up so that each episode is about 20 minutes long. So he can then take that content and repurpose it for another audience. He can then take that content and put it on YouTube. He can take that content and put it on social media. He can take that content and put it on blogs. He can take that content and put it on newsletters. That's the thing with podcasts, guys. The content is king. Like, the more that you can create from that initial piece of content, the better. Now, Tim Ferriss does a really good job of this. He interviews these really interesting people and then he just sit down and talk to them for hours. And then he take that and he cut it up and he reframe it in different ways. So each time that you listen to an episode, it's gonna sound completely different. And then he takes that and he puts it on all these other channels. So he's taking this one piece of content, which is the interview, and is repurposing it into dozens and dozens of pieces of content. And then he's releasing those across all of his different platforms. And that's kind of the approach that we took with the podcast. We didn't want to start the podcast with any kind of goal of making money from it. We just wanted to start the podcast to share our stories. Now, we started a newsletter, which was called The Almanac. And that newsletter is where we share our stories, our experiences and the things that we've learned. What we decided to do is we took the best articles from the newsletter and we turned them into podcast episodes. So you can either read the article or you can listen to us reading the article. And then we took those podcast episodes and we chopped them up and we released them as individual videos on social media. So you can watch a video or you can listen to a podcast. That's the approach that we took. We didn't have any kind of monetization plan. We didn't have any kind of strategy around turning it into money. We just wanted to share our stories. We just wanted to help people. We wanted to provide value. And then we figured that we would figure out the monetization later. So how did we monetize it? Well, we didn't sell anything. I mean, we didn't have anything to sell. So what we did is we partnered up with brands. We reached out to companies and we said, hey, we'd love to promote your product on our podcast. And then we released that episode. And then a second company came on board and they sponsored an episode for $1,000. And then a third company came on board and they sponsored an episode for $1,000. And now we are at the point where we are getting tens of thousands of dollars per episode because we built up a reputation, because we showed up consistently, because we delivered value, and because we built up an audience. If you had told me 6 months ago that we would be in this position today, I would not have believed you. I thought we were gonna be lucky if we got 1,000 or 2,000 listeners per episode. I certainly didn't expect that we would be making 6 figures a month. But that's what happens when you show up consistently. That's what happens when you deliver value. That's what happens when you build an audience. And then you just kind of let the money take care of itself. If you had told me 6 months ago that would be here, I wouldn't have believed you. But it shows that you should never underestimate the power of showing up, of delivering value, of building an audience. Because if you do those 3 things, then the money will come. And the beautiful thing about a podcast is that it is such a simple medium to get started with. You can start a podcast with literally $0. You can record on your phone. You can record with whatever equipment you have available. There's no reason why you shouldn't start a podcast right now. But yeah, that's how we make money from our podcast. We don't sell anything. We don't have anything to sell. We don't have a funnel. We don't have a sales page. We don't have any of that stuff. We just show up. We deliver value. We build an audience and then the money comes through sponsorships. Oh, we also do live ads. Yeah, so we also do live ads. We reach out to companies and we say, hey, we'd love to run a live ad for your product. Would you be interested in sponsoring this live event? And we do live events. Every single Sunday we host a live event where we bring on a guest and we chat about whatever topic they are teaching. And then we give people the opportunity to ask questions and we just kind of do a Q&A session. And then we promote those live events on social media. We promote those live events on the podcast and we promote those live events on email. And then people attend those live events and sometimes there's a call to action. Sometimes we have a product that we are trying to sell. Sometimes we are trying to drive people towards a certain action. But it's all based on relationships. It's all based on providing value. It's all based on helping people. And then the money comes through sponsorships and through live ads. But I just wanted to explain how people make money from podcasts because I feel like it's kind of a misunderstood thing. It's a little bit of a weird industry. When you look at the top podcasts in the world, most of them aren't making any money. But there are people out there who are making a full-time income from their podcast. And it's because they are showing up, it's because they are delivering value, it's because they are building an audience. And then they are letting the money come through sponsorships. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got value from it. If you did, please hit the like button. It really helps us out. And I'll see you in the next video.